Alright guys, so next this is actually the next day. Let me just fill you in. Rob's not here today, so I'm going to be doing the camera work myself, so you probably won't be seeing my face anymore, but that's okay. So next is the processor, and this is the part I think that can go terribly wrong. So I'm just going to zoom in on this part of the motherboard right here, which is the place where the processor is clamped down, if you will, and you see this here is the control for the latch. Now this apparatus here is very different on AMD processors, so when you do buy a motherboard and a processor, make sure that you get an Intel motherboard for an Intel processor and an AMD motherboard for an AMD processor. So what I'm going to do to unlatch this is go over to the little hook part over here. I'm going to first push down on it to get it up, because it's right now it's got tension pulling up. So I'm just going to push right down on it and try to get the shadow out of the way, and then I'm going to pull it to the side slightly and lift it up. And when that lifts up, we can put it back here, and we can lift up the entire, come on, there we go, lift up the entire clamp like that. Now there's a notice on here, something about the cover. If we, oh, falling in the background, sorry. I think let's leave that sticker on. I'm trying to see how exactly to remove this. I think I just do this. I don't want to do this wrong. Perhaps we should look at the motherboard manual about it. Installing the CPU, page 13. Okay, so I undid the latch, and it looks like we just do, it looks like this is also on a bit of a hinge. Yep, there we go. So I just lifted this cover right off, and now it might be a little hard to see, but there are pins there all along the edge, and then some other stuff in the middle. So now is when we need to be careful not to touch those pins or get anything on those pins. And 1 second. Should have probably opened up my CPU before starting this. When Rob put a little twist tie on the end of the scissors. Very nice. Little bastard. So. Okay, let's see. I gotta. Alright, I'll be right back. I gotta cut it. Bye. 1 second. Alright, we're in business, people. I got rid of the background noise and I opened up the box. So I gotta, let's see what you guys can see. So this is what it looks like inside its little plastic case. You see, these are the pins, just like the pins on the motherboard here, and you got the other stuff in the middle, just like the other stuff in the middle. And on the back, it's just, you know, that there. So first, first thing we should do is identify the notched corner in both of these, on the motherboard and on the processor. So the corner is going to be, I doubt you guys are going to be able to see this, especially while it's in this shiny plastic, so maybe I should take it out of that first. I am scared of dealing with the CPU because it is expensive and small and fragile. So let's hope nothing goes wrong and we don't have to pause this series for a few days. That didn't really help too much, but I think up this corner is notched. Well, no, actually no, there's a little tiny gold corner that you can see right there. And now there should be a marked corner on the motherboard to indicate that that is where that goes. I'm not seeing it. Gently set that down. Step 3. Hold the CPU with your thumb, index finger, align the CPU pin 1 marking triangle with the pin 1 core in the CPU socket. Or you may align the CPU notch with the socket on keys. How do I know which is which? I can't see. Yeah, I need to really stick my head in there to see it, so I'm gonna be right back. Alright guys, so actually looking at the processor and looking at the motherboard, I actually still do not see the marked corner. And yet, just by looking at the pins, and where there are no pins and where there are some pins, I can tell which way it goes. And I don't know how the hell I was supposed to tell that without it. I guess it's because, oh, you know why? Here's another way you can tell. So there's a little notch, you can't see it. There's a little tiny notch right here in the CPU, and there's a little tiny notch here. Those match it up with the notches on the motherboard. So I'm just going to really gently, carefully, I'm so nervous while doing this. Now, if I'm correct about this, first of all, that should be right. Always place. Hold the CPU with your thumb and index finger, or align the CPU pin. I gotta be right back to make sure I did that right. It's probably too late now. But I'm pretty sure you're supposed to try to come at it from as vertical as you can, and never try to like slide it over the top horizontally at all. And just align it straight over and just slip it right in. I'm going to double check that, so I'll be right back. Alright guys, I was right about that. Just want to drop it in. I'm just going to make sure that I line it up perfectly. I'm pretty sure I did. So we're going to call that good. So what we're going to do now is you don't push down on it, okay? Also, fun fact, so yeah, you don't push down on it. Fun fact, I learned what LGA 1155 a second ago means. That is the kind of latch here that holds it in place. So you do need to match your motherboard is an LGA 11, is the same type of latch as your processor is, or else it won't be able to hold it in place. So we're just gonna lay this guy right on top, and then lower this back down. Why is that? I don't like that. That's a lot of force that I am needing to do. Something's not right. Come on. Down there, yeah. I can like hear it creaking. I don't like that. I don't. The little notches on the side are all lined up, so I guess let's just. Alright, just gonna do it. Oh god. Alright, well it's in there. Let's call that good. Alright, moving on. We got this here, right here, which is the stock heatsink fan for the Intel processor that came with it. Let's see, where's the cable going? Where's the end of this thing? There it is. Come on out. Oh god, it's stuck in the fan. Oh god. Okay. Yeah, we'll just take this out. Alright. So, we got this here. This is the stock fan, like I said. On the bottom of it here, you can see these gray strips. That's thermal paste. It's what helps keep it cool, distribute the heat, whatnot. I'm not sure on the technicals. But we got we got these bad boys on the bottom here, which are these, let me get that in frame, this here, which is what holds it in place. And if you see, there are 4 holes right here. Can I zoom in more? Yes, I can. I was zoomed out. My bad, I'm sorry. I'm sure that wasn't helpful lining up the processor then. I guess it's because it shut off automatically. So we got these 4 holes, 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't think it matters which line with which, but one thing to do that is helpful is to find your CPU fan connector on the motherboard beforehand. So if I just go over here a little bit, you can't read it because it's too small, but the connector's right here. Alright, so it's just a 4-pin connector. 3 of those pins, I believe, give it its power, and the 4th pin controls the speed, which is a newer feature, I believe. So I think it's gonna go. Don't wanna break these pins. Does it go like that, or does it go the other way? Walk around to the other side here, take a closer look. I think I was right the first time. Yeah, there we go. Oh, sort of. I bet you can't see a damn thing right now, and I apologize. But you're gonna have to deal with it. Look, that pin looks not straight at all. That pin is not straight. That's not good. Alright. So I'm not actually gonna. It's just good to know where that is, and I'm just practice plugging it in, just because I was curious, and it isn't straight, so I'm gonna have to really force that guy down there when I do that. That's too bad. Yeah, wow. I don't want to break it, but I'm trying to kind of bend it back the other way. I'm just gonna leave it. And we got. So now let's just. So we can arrange. What we can do now that we know where that's where that is just kind of put this down in a way that the wire will have to kind of travel the shortest distance. So these were where the holes are, right? And I just lined up these 4 little pegs. Now I think all you got. So okay, I just applied down and snapped in. I'm going to do the same general rule. I'm going to go diagonally across the fan, and we're going to snap it. Why isn't that working? Oh, I guess that did it. Okay. And snap this guy in, and snap this guy in. So I'm just going to put a little bit of pressure on all 4. Alright. So those all seem snapped down, and then we can plug the fan in over there. We're not going to do that at the moment. What's next? Next is memory and graphics card. So I got to get those bad boys unpacked, and I'll see you in a second. Alright guys, so, actually, you know what, for this part on, it might be better for me to turn the case around. Just carefully. Oops. Slippery little bugger. Oh man, this thing's getting heavy. It's the damn power supply. I'm sorry, I should have done this before I started recording again, but I didn't, so deal with it. Alright. Now let me see. Oh, well now you're not seeing the right stuff. Let me get this tripod all. That's gonna be as good as it gets. Let's zoom in, seeing as it did shut itself off again. It's funny, it shuts itself off so much, but since this thing is so old and battered and whatnot, it still loses battery like nothing. So this is a stick of memory that we are going with. It's Vengeance LP, Corsair, and you can see on the bottom where all the connectors are, there's a little notch, and yes, Minecraft users, and the notch is off center, and it's really hard to see. I can barely see it in the little preview of the video here, but there is a little corresponding notch on the slots of on the motherboard. Now, I was correct in the first video in saying that this is dual channel memory configuration. So if we have two modules as opposed to 4, so we have 2 sticks of 8 to get 16 gigabytes RAM, we would want to put it in 4 and 3. Now usually these are color coordinated, but they're not this time. So we're just going to put them in 4 and 3, which are just labeled as the first and the third, okay? So the way you put in memory, I've done this before. It's the only actual part that I've ever done hands-on, I think. But I've watched and learned from other people about how to do the other stuff. So hopefully we're still doing it right. So there's only one way it can go in because of that notch. And we're just going to put, so first thing we're going to do is there's a little latch on either side, right there, that you want to pull back. Just push a little pressure on it, one on either side. And I wish I could give you guys a better view, but I don't have very good lighting here. And then you just line up the memory. Everything's black in here. Good thing I got a window in my case. Spent extra money on that, and everything's going to be pitch black. And then you want to put your thumbs on either side, give it some even distribution of weight, and just evenly press down. Why isn't that working? Oh crap. Evenly press down until the latches latch back up. They didn't really snap as much as I thought they would. On the time I did it before, they let out a nice loud snap. Didn't happen this time. We'll see if we can get it working with this guy, with the other stick. So there's 8 gigabytes right there, but we want more. And so we're going to give it 8 more. That's not the right spot. Oh, I forgot to open these guys up. That would have been bad if I just forced this puppy in there. And let's see if we can get a nice... Alright, that was more of a snap, but it still wasn't really a snap. And they didn't really click in there. Alright, well, I find myself second-guessing myself a lot this series. We're gonna call that good. So, next is the graphics card. It's a beast. I would say out of all the parts on this computer that I'm building, doing a little bit of cleanup here while I talk, this is probably the most impressive, and it's gonna go... Sorry, I should change this view. It's gonna go over there. Now, I probably should change the rotate the case again, but I won't, because I think you're gonna get a good enough view from there. I can just show you what's going to happen. It's very similar to installing the motherboard, in the sense that there is an outside space where like a lot of ports will stick out, like maybe it's going to have like an HDMI port or something like that. I was surprised at how many our motherboard had. How do I open this guy? Open sesame, come on. I'm really struggling here, guys. Okay, I'm gonna have to keep track of all these discs here. We got... Actually, are they just manuals or... No, that one's drivers. That one's important. Yeah, little cables here. Okay, so, like I said, this thing's a beast. Look at how big that is. I can't even get it all in frame when I'm zoomed in. I really hope that we do not have any problems here with this bad boy. I'm thinking we'll be fine, but can't really be sure. So I'm going to double check on how to install this guy, and I'll be right back. Oh, well, no, I'm not. So we have to... Oh god, alright. So if you can see here, there is, right here, some slots. for things to go. One of those is going to be where they go, and I'm pretty sure there's only going to be one where it can go. I don't know where though. And then if you see lining up with each one of these slots, we have a different slot here. These slots here were very similar to where the DVD burner went and that kind of thing. Because we have to take one out and then it'll expose like the D-sub and maybe like VGA and HDMI, maybe some extra USBs. I'm seeing HDMI, some other ones too, just some other ports that have to do with the graphics card. So I don't actually know how to take these out. It looks like I just have to force it, but I don't want to. They can't. It doesn't look like they can go back in. So I don't want to force them open unless I know that's the one where it's going to fit. So let's find this. Is this it right here? Graphics card. PCI. Remove the chassis. Locate the PCI Express times 16 or OPG slot if necessary. Okay. So PCI Express. There's one right here. I think that's probably what we'll go with. But I'm going to double check everything before I do it. So I'll be right back. See you later. Alright, got it all figured out. And actually this guy takes up 2 slots. So I just bend this back. Oh, you know what? There you go. Forgot about that. So I just bend this guy back. Oh wow, that wasn't good. I should have checked and make sure there was nothing in the way. Motherboard. Oh god. Whoops. Well, I scratched that guy, but hopefully that won't cause a problem. I'm just gonna wiggle it back and forth in the tiny space that I have then until it comes all the way off. Ooh. Huh. Alright, the edge of that thing was pretty damn sharp, and I actually cut myself. So I need to solve that problem first before moving on. Ow. Ow! I'm bleeding! Okay, well, I'm gonna go get myself a Band-Aid. And, ow! That hurts a lot! You can tell I'm a computer nerd. I can't stand like a paper cut, except it was a metal cut. A metal cut. Anyways, so I'm gonna fix this problem, and then we're gonna put this in. So I'll be right back. Okay, guys. No worries. I'm alright. Actually, I just noticed that there's not a lot of room left on this camera, so I'm gonna have to install this guy quick. Now, my fears actually came true. About oh my god, I forgot again. Actually, this guy should probably zoom in at a different spot. I'll zoom in right over here. So we're going to be connecting it right here, and then it'll pop out into these 2 holes. So that's where we're going to be connecting it. My fear came true. This thing is too big for the case, but it's not a big deal. I just have to really kind of finagle it around for a little while before I can get it to fit in properly. So it'd probably be good if I took off the case for the PCI Express. Come on. Come on. Well, the one side's coming off. Why isn't it? There we go. Ain't nobody got time for that. Alright. So I'm just gonna have to slip this guy down in here first, I found. And then once it's in there, then I can kind of move it on over here. And slip it into the 2 slots. And what is that? What's that thing? Oh, there's a little latch. I didn't know there was a latch on that. Come on, rest in there. Oh, it's not. What does this do? I actually have no idea what that thing does, so I'm going to leave it there, and I'll just use screws to hold it down. Why isn't this... I feel like this should set in it more. There we go, there we go. No, no, that's not correct. That's not setting in more. Oh! Baby, alright. Got it. So now, oh crap, I didn't get the screws ready. Looks like we should maybe use these guys. Well, how am I going to screw this in here? Let's line it up like that where these screws go. Oh, right here, just one screw. And I'm about to run out of space on the camera any minute now, so I apologize. This band-aid is really inhibiting my ability to work. No, there's not enough room for a screw there. There just is not enough room. There we go, I'll have to do that. Go in there. Get in there! Am I in the frame? You can't see a single thing I'm doing because my hand is in the way, I'm sure. But that's okay. So you will see when I'm done. If I could just get this screw to screw in. There, nailed it. And that's the only... Alright guys, it did cut out because of too much space, but I finished screwing it down. And I can uncover the covers here. I don't know what this guy is right here. What's this? Hey, there we go. Oh, that's HDMI. Duh. Okay. So this is the other side of the case. Back of this power supply here. You see my band-aid when I hurt myself. Back of the power supply, we got the back of the video card here, and the back of the motherboard, and then the fan. So next we begin the long and tedious process of plugging everything into the correct spots. Which is something I don't know how to do. So, let me... Ready? Going for a ride. Whee! Oh wow, that's not gonna work. Well, let's start by doing this. I'm gonna try to work my tripod, work the tripod while recording. And we'll see what we can do. So, some of the stuff... Okay, some of the stuff we know where it goes, right? Like we know the power supply stuff, where that has to go. We know we already found the CPU fan. Oh, sorry, getting a view over there. Okay, so we already did that CPU fan, might as well plug that guy in. It's right over there. The problem is all the connectors on this thing are black and the motherboard is black, so they're not really standing out for you. And I apologize for that, but you should see it. It's just 4 pins, possibly if you're working with old parts, 3 pins, I think, that say CPU fan next to them. And I don't want to break these pins, especially because one of them's already bent. You know, I gotta go around. For some reason, it's much easier from over here. I guess it's just because I don't have a tripod in my way. Don't make me bend you more. Okay. Now, there is an issue with management of your wires that comes along with building a computer. That's where the twist ties come in. Of course, as we discussed before, preferably very colorful twist ties. So I'm just gonna, there's a little clip on the side of the fan, and I didn't actually need to unwind those wires, I don't think, but I did. But I'm just gonna take these and clip them down like that. Alright, next we're gonna deal with, what do you guys see? Oh, you guys are zoomed in over there. What you doing over there? Come on. Oh crap, you can't see what I'm about to do because everything's in the way. Oh no, yes you can. So this right here, this is the main power supply to the motherboard. No, the main power connector to it's the main source of power to the motherboard from the power supply. And this guy, you just gotta match them up, some of them. So it's this right here, and then you have this connector right here, and you gotta match up. So some of these are rounded, some of these are square. Just gotta match up rounded ones with square ones, and also you can tell that there's this little clip, and that clip should clip onto the lip on the outside of this pin on my motherboard. It's probably gonna be the same for yours. General rule is writing on to the outside of the motherboard. How do I know if that's gone in all the way? Is it gonna click? No, but that's in. Alright. Cool. Next we're probably it's gonna be these guys, which I think are individual power supplies to the processor. Because sometimes it's just not enough to have power supply. Can this bend to my will? Maybe we can zip tie it to this part of the case later. What the hell are those? SATA port 5, SATA port 5. There's a sticker in there. I don't know what that does. And you're still zoomed in over here. System fan. So that's gonna be this guy. I need to move the camera. Well, let me undo this twist tie and then move it. I apologize. Play the elevator music while you wait, or the Jeopardy music, your choice. Okay, oh, that's a lot. What the hell? This is a mess of cables. No, how did this even get wrapped up like this? There we go. This is not what I was expecting. Okay, you guys will probably know the answer to this better than I do. So we have these here. So two 4-pin connectors. Actually, one of them is male, one of them is female. So it looks like some sort of a converter. An extra port into this here, but this here, if I can undo it, if I can I? I don't know if I should or not. Alright, well, we'll leave it. But this looks like the thing that I'm supposed to put the system fan into. And then perhaps more research will need to be done on that. Okay. What I'm working with right now is this guy right here in the corner. And that's the system fan, but I gotta do some research, so I'll be right back.